Olivia Rutman, welcome to America Trends.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, God, I mean, this is no joke. I'm flashing back to when I was looking for childcare for my kids, and it was like kindergarten, and there was long lines, and I didn't know where to go, and I'm like also hormonal, and I'm crazy, and I'm cranky, and I'm like stressed, right? Especially for parents that work. I mean, I guess it's anyone, really. We need care for our kids. So you founded Kids Care Finder, and first of all, tell me, you have 3 kids?
3 boys under 5.
No, you do not. How are you even you look beautiful. You're all how are you even put together right now?
It's loud and it's hectic, but
please tell me there's
fun.
like stains somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure there are. Yeah.
So three boys under 5.
Yes.
Okay, and none of them are twins.
None of them are twins.
Okay.
They're all about 19 months apart.
Okay, so in your journey with your almost 5-year-old, you probably, as most parents are, thinking, how do I even go about finding care? What do I do?
Yeah, that's what it was. You know, as a working mom and having your first baby, there's so many other things that are overwhelming that sometimes care is one of the things you get around to later on in the process because you're worried about everything else.
Right.
And
like keeping the baby alive.
Yeah, but then you have to trust somebody else to keep the baby alive, which is even scarier
Right.
because it's not their baby. So it can just be the most overwhelming and intense process. And for some parents, even impossible, which is why we have so many parents that are just sort of forced out of the workplace.
Yeah, so there's a lot of topics here I want to talk about, being forced out of the workplace and being one of them, and especially the changing landscape since COVID happened. Well, so you're having kids was right in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, my oldest son turned 1 right when lockdown happened.
Okay,
So
wow.
it was-
So you needed to go back to work, essentially. Well, then at one point you were working from home, I'm assuming.
Yes, but working from home with a toddler is not so doable.
It's not sustainable. And people think, oh, it's easy, you're from home. They need you all the time. You can't get any work done.
Yeah, and my epiphany really happened, you know, through all the COVID struggles. We went through several different nannies, and I was actually on maternity leave with my 3rd baby boy. And that's when I really sort of had this epiphany of, okay, all 3 kids have different needs at different times. My oldest is needing a good preschool. My middle son's not ready for that yet. He needs more of a home daycare. Hadn't even started to worry about the baby yet. And I was just thinking, wow, this is impossible. There's nowhere I can go that handles each of the needs for the different age groups. And they're asking me about playing soccer. They need swim lessons, and all these things were just piling up. And there was nowhere where I could search by my schedule needs or their age group or whatever it was to be able to find it easily.
And affordable, so you're not breaking the
Yeah.
bank and dying in that regard, because that was a big thing too. Is it's so
Still is,
bloody expensive? Yeah. So talk to me about how you came up with this idea.
So it was really,
Besides all of that.
yeah, I mean, it was really, so about halfway through this maternity leave, I had finally found a good preschool for my oldest son, and I have this just, lovely moment of victory. And then I realized, oh, I have to start all over again. And this took over 2 months to find that fit. And home daycares are even harder, as many moms know. They're impossible to find because they don't have websites and they don't have PR and they don't have other things that let you know where they are and that they're out there. So I thought, how am I even going to tackle that? Because I can't just look them all up. And then what am I going to do with the baby and all these other activities? So I said, it was really a moment of frustration that sort of turned to this aha was, there needs to be one place where parents can go no matter what they need, how old their child is, whether it's childcare, whether it's sports, whether it's even just service providers. Think of if you move tomorrow and you need a new pediatrician, a new dentist, new after school programs. I mean, it is so overwhelming, and each one of these needs is weeks of searching, dozens of calls and emails and tours. So there needs to be one place where you can filter by what you need, when you need it, how old your child is, and filter by schedule if that's your need, right? That just brings it all together and makes it really easy to find a match.
So the solution is kidscarefinder.com.
Yep.
That you established. Did you have background in creating websites, and how did you even know where to start in all this? Is that your background?
No, that was actually a little tricky. So I spent 15 years in financial services.
Okay.
But about half of that I spent on this sales enablement team. And really what we did there was come up with solutions to problems. So sometimes we created a training for something. Sometimes we created a new tool for something. things. Sometimes we created a new process. And so it was really, I was really the person who was kind of brought in to execute when there was those different challenges or ideas. So I think it was kind of that background that allowed me to come in and say, okay, this is my problem. I know what it is. How can I go about finding a solution that doesn't just work for me, but that works for all parents?
All parents, yeah. So you had this idea. Did you go and say, and you find the URL, you have to do all those basic things. And then you think logistically, you have to come up with the search. What are moms going to need? Like you said, with all the different needs. So what can parents go in and filter for?
Yeah, so it really depends on the category, right? But for example, if you're looking for a preschool, you can filter by when they have availability. So if you need something within 6 months, if you need something now, if you need something within a year.
The biggest problem is the availability. Like I mentioned earlier, it's the wait list. I mean, I'd find a place and they said, okay, it's going to be a year. We'll have an opening. I thought, I need it next month. I don't know what.
And did you ever even get a call saying that a spot was now available?
I blocked it all out. I don't know.
So that's a big problem with wait lists though, right? I've been on wait lists for 2 years. No one's ever called me.
Right.
So I'm not sure how many people are on these wait lists, how often a spot comes up. Maybe the wait lists don't even exist, right? Who knows? But that's a big challenge.
Really.
No.
Especially moms that have to get back to work, but it's not going to work out.
Exactly. And for those who are looking in advance, maybe there's a preschool that will have availability within 6 months but doesn't now. And so it gives you that ability to say, okay, what's available within the time frame I need it, for whatever age child. If do I need something that accepts infants, because that's a big challenge. And then you can filter by other criteria, like if they provide meals or snacks, if they have aftercare, what's the teacher to child ratio, if it's a religious school, or if they speak other languages, right, depending on what your needs are. So you can really narrow it way down and just come up with a couple of results that meet all of your criteria.
So that must have been a lot of work for you to do all the research, because this is all just San Diego based at the moment, right? But I believe you're planning on expanding. Is that true?
We are. So come January, we will be launching in all of California.
Wow. Yes. Congratulations. When did you start?
We started, so the idea came September of 22. We launched sort of in San Diego with a couple of categories over the summer. And so we've really been rewriting and improving the website and technology so that we can do a broader expansion and reach more families.
So you had to go out and then find all these places. So how did you go about doing that?
So really, one thing that makes it easier in California is with some of the licensed facilities, we can go out and kind of pull a list of the different ones. So we've been able to do some outreach to them through email and direct things like that. Then the providers actually go in and sign themselves up and complete the questionnaire, which helps us be able to match all the filters.
Wow, that's really, really good stuff. And I bet the facilities are happy about this because it's helping them probably reach people and be a little bit more organized.
Exactly. So for providers, it really gives them more visibility with families, and we have tools that help reduce their administrative tasks so they spend less time on wait list. We have a wait list tool so they can keep their wait list on our site, and it tells the parents what number they are. So there's a lot of visibility there, and we have online enrollment and online applications so they don't have to worry about so much paperwork. And they can just take care of the kids.
So if you are a provider, you have a preschool or whatever, you would go, and is there a portal then for the facilities?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So they have their portal, and then parents go in and create their account.
Yeah, it takes less than a minute for parents to go in and create a free account. Parents do not pay to use our site.
Did you hear that? Free. Let's
free
have
to
a big,
search. There are some solutions out there that have a pay to search model, and it really doesn't work for families because they don't want to pay to search, risk not finding a fit, and then now that's wasted time and money when child's care is already so expensive. So that's a big part of our core values is you can search for what you need for free and find a match without having to pay us a subscription fee.
So then, so there is no subscription model. So is it the facilities then that pay you to be a member, or?
So we have different account options.
Yeah.
So providers can choose from a basic or a free account so they can at least be listed on the site for free. But if they want, the messaging, the wait list, the online enrollment, all of that, they pay a small subscription fee. And then we also have a sponsored option if they want to appear at the top of the search results.
Right.
Then the families, the only things they might pay for is like online enrollment. We charge a small fee to do the paperwork or an online application. Or if they hire a provider who's not licensed, like a nanny or a babysitter that's not through an agency, they'll already have to clear a basic background check to be listed on our site. But if a parent wants to run a more comprehensive one to have like their DMV records and their county records and the
Yeah, you know what? That actually, I just was having a question about safety issues and all that stuff. We have to take a commercial break though. Will you stick around?
Absolutely.
And I have some more questions for you. So we're talking with Olivia Rutman of Kids Care Finder. You got to go check this website out if you are a parent or you know some parent that's struggling right now, because we always do when we're new parents. KidsCareFinder.com.